Okay, so here are a couple of issues of what's going on in the world, like political, that I either agree with or just don't agree with, and the reasons. So we all know that Assad had used sarin gas science on people, and then they blame the rebels, or then the rebels blame Assad. So one reason is we don't know the truth, so that's one. And attacking because one tribe hates another is not a reason to go in. And two, we were not attacked, so we have to think about that very carefully. And then we also really need to think about, yes, as a country, we take humanity seriously. The of caring for our sick, and caring for our poor and caring for our elderly. Um, we we have always been the country that always steps into action when there's been some political conflict, or a natural disasters is natural, and that's an always good and noble thing to do. So that's not a wrong thing to do. But when it has to do with on a stage, like staging, I don't think that's right. The only time we should really go and attack is when we've been attacked ourselves, like on 9/11, and that's and like in the Boston Marathon, so that's um, it, that's you know that that's a reason. Um, but I can see where also when the Democrats try to say, oh, it's our safety. Well, what we know what the effects are of sarin gas. This generation now knows of what it is, and of course, generations from World War II know, and World War One know. So that it's nothing to mess with. But the thing is that we don't want it to end up in the wrong hands. But and that's when it becomes national security. That's when it becomes our security at risk. So that's we need to really think about that, and for them to play it as a political pawn, as for points, that's not right. Anyway, so my next thing is healthcare, and to marry these two. Okay, Obamacare, healthcare, it's whatever you want to call it. It's not what we're getting. It's not health or care. Think of it this way: the head of HHS, it's not really Health and Human Services. It's really run by a czar, and that czar is Kathleen Sebelius. And for one, I don't even know what she knows about health, or humanity. But let me tell you, she's one cold lady who has no heart whatsoever. She is hell bent on power and money, um, deciding deciding who gets what, and and who gets what procedures and who does not. I mean, look at some of the cases like Sarah Monahan. She was shot down for getting I think it was new lungs because she couldn't breathe, and she wouldn't. Kathleen Sebelius wouldn't overstep her authority. Who knows? Um, so, and then the insurance you have been paying for this, um, for this, it's the money you're giving to her. You're not giving it really to the doctors, because what's happening now? Look at this. Doctors are being cut from hospitals. They're being either let go because they don't qualify, or they don't have a reason for, they don't want this system to be implemented, and so this is getting pretty dire, as why this is not good. And it's not health, it's more of a socialistic system that they want to break it down. They want you to either work less hours, which is happening now because a lot of businesses are, trimming down not only the workforce but the work time, the time that you work, and so and it's not for machines or research. They don't want to spend money for research for someone else. They just want to spend research for themselves and their high society issues. This is like what Dr. Ben Carson was telling you on the Kelly file. It's socialized medicine. It's what Solomonsky wrote about in his book Rules for Radicals. And it's a radical movement. It's not healthcare or anything. It's a movement. But then also when you also look at this too, people can't pay the high premiums because if they're out of work, they can't pay it. If they work less hours, they can't pay it because they have to pay for other things as well. For a family, you have to pay for your child's education, their health care, but that's too high. So you have to pay for your transportation to take yourself to work and your kids to work and to go to the grocery store to get the groceries for the food. You have to pay for gas. You have to pay for the education for the kids to drive the kid to school. And then you also have to pay your mortgage or your rent. And then for college people, they have to pay for their tuition, which is high. So, it's not such a great deal as people are saying. Gun control. Okay. What we have seen, the number of people that are committing these mass murders, if you want to say, are people who are just mentally ill and who come from broken homes and have learned to play video games a little bit way too much. And I think we need to really think as far as we need to help the mentally ill. So what I'm saying is that they're the ones who not should have guns. They're the ones who are more likely to go out and commit mass murder. And you have some people in Congress who blame the Tea Party people for it, and who think that it's always white people. No, it's not. And who think gun control means just taking away all guns and taking away all the ammo. Well, how are you supposed to defend yourself? That's not good. It doesn't work like that. So, but the people who don't really commit these murders are people who are mentally solid, who are freedom and loving, educated, and who are trained in firearms, Americans, and that would not do this, harm. So gun control is not what we need. We need control in the mental health services is what we need. They need to be overhauled from patients to families' concerns to political correctness. People who can't afford home alarms or dogs should have the right to own firearms. It's the Second Amendment, and our founding fathers gave that to us because, listen to this, because because in different countries like France, England, and Australia, and all, those places, they always had monarchies, and the monarchy they were only entitled to weapons and their warriors, or their armies, or their security, whatever, for them and for their land. So, and they always proclaimed, "Oh, we will protect you." But the thing is that they couldn't protect themselves when the enemy came. So that sort of, that doesn't work either. The other thing is that, let's see, and the government needs to stop telling the firearms manufacturers what is a gun and what is assault firearm, and limiting the amount of bullets, as I said before, is, it's not going to help someone who is defending oneself and family. Let's see here. And let's see here. Okay. And it was put into the Constitution to protect our land, to protect our lands and homes in those different countries. And in Ireland, in France, the king would take the guns from the peasants. The only people who could own firearms were his knights or his armies. So that's why people came, to America to get away from kind of maybe like a lawless time, and to find safety and to find some peace as far as their own religion, and to be able to practice that freely. That's why they came. And when the UN wants to take away the Second Amendment because they claim our country is to blame for gun violence and deaths around the world, they can't, because it's not theirs. It is not theirs. They were not given the Second Amendment. Most of those people who work in and are members of the UN do not know freedom and liberty. They do not, because they were not born with it. They did not fight for it. So they cannot take away our Second Amendment. It is ours. It was ours. And if they claim that the deaths and the gun violence, they can't do that. And you need to look at the numbers of countries that have lower deaths by guns, because there they have a higher, they have more restrictive laws for drugs and other things, and they have probably a better mental health system than we do. So it's not the guns, it's the person behind the gun. So anyway, but I'll be back with some more issues, and take care, have a good weekend, and God bless us one and all.